And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first Tech20 Tuesday for this school year. And my name is Jeff Whipple. I'm a member of the digital learning team here at ASD-W. And over the last little while, we've seen this emergence of artificial intelligence, and our team has identified it as something that's going to be both a challenge and an opportunity for the world and for teaching and learning, because we're not immune or isolated in the world. So today I wanted to take a few minutes and start a conversation about AI. We're not going to get very deep today. This is going to be just a sort of a discussion and introduction, a very soft launch, soft entry to the world of AI for teachers, because we recognize that a lot of you haven't really been exposed to it or even thought about it and how you might use it. But so today we're going to just sort of make our way through the world and into the world of AI. So here's a question for you. You're in a big city. This picture happens to come from San Francisco, and you call a cab or an Uber, and the cab pulls up, and there's no driver. This cab is an autonomous vehicle. It's being driven by AI. It knows where you want to go. You've told it, and the question is would you get in? Would you not? If not, why? When you think about it, AI is going to revolutionize the way we live, the way we work, the way we play in the world. And even now we're starting to see some of the big impacts of AI. If you fly in an airplane, you probably think the pilots are doing most of the flying by hand. But really, if you dig a little deeper, and don't have to dig too deep, you find out that most of the decisions that are being made, especially during takeoff and landing, which are those high stress, high impact, high risk areas, are being made by the computers that are making those decisions about when and how and that plane is going to land. So even now we're trusting our fate and to computers. So we wanted to take a little time and start to discuss about sort of what is artificial intelligence? What does it mean to you and to the world? And really, artificial intelligence comes down to computers or robots, computer controlled robots, doing the things that humans do in terms of intelligent beings. So it's simulation of human intelligence. When we think about how humans make decisions, if I'm driving a car down the road, I'm taking all of that data that I'm seeing through my eyes and through the steering wheel, through my feel, through what I'm hearing around me, and I'm taking all of that data, and my brain is inputting it and making decisions, making rational decisions based on previous history, previous experience. And that's all that artificial intelligence for computers is. It's making and creating and making decisions based on how it's been programmed. These new algorithms being created by AI engineers are so powerful that they really are coming very, very close to simulating the human intelligence. And in fact, in some ways, they're more safe. If you look at that, we go back to the picture of the cab with no driver. The statistics are showing, and we see all the stories once in a while, but really the statistics show that those cabs are actually safer than cabs being driven by human beings. They don't get tired. They don't. They don't get all the other things. They never change. They're very consistent in how they learn. And as we go along in this series, and this will be a series, as we go along in this series, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things, machine learning and how those things are coming apart. are coming together. But for today, we want to talk about just about how AI. So where is AI taking, and we're going to get to the education piece in a minute, but where is AI really shining? I want to use one example. You see a bunch of things here, a couple of examples. The other night, I actually had to phone my car insurance. I'm buying a new car. So I wanted to put a new vehicle onto my account, onto my policy. I spent probably the first 10 minutes talking to a machine, answering questions that it was asking me. And by asking me those questions, it was trying to gather the information that it needed to make a decision as to how best to serve me. So those chatbots that you see in terms of customer service, and they're all on a bunch of different websites, they're everywhere, and those are all AI. I think the most exciting thing that I hear about and that I read about is in healthcare. So my wife is a nurse, and she's not necessarily involved in this, but what's happening in healthcare is that AI computer robots, they're not really moving anywhere, but the computers in AI are assisting radiologists in reading or interpreting the radiological data. That's when you do a scan. And so, again, the computers never get tired. The computers, they see things that radiologists might not see, might not pick up. Because what they're doing, they've been trained. They've looked at so many examples of these that their experience can be so much greater than even the best radiologists. So they have seen these scans before. They say, okay, if I see this pattern, that generally means some sort of cancer or something. And even though so it's looking for these anomalies inside of the process, where a radiologist might not even pick that up, but because they're so minute, so fine, the anomalies, the AI bots are picking these things up way before even the best radiologists, and so they become a huge bonus in healthcare. And that's just one small example. But YouTube keeps telling me, here's a playlist we think you would enjoy. And they're doing that based on my previous experience with YouTube in terms of music or videos. So there's all kinds of ways that computers are they are impacting our lives. And so they're making decisions to interact with us, to increase our experience or to enrich our experience. So I want to talk about, introduce you to sort of the one that you'll hear most about. It's not necessarily focused on AI or on education, but it is kind of the big open AI platform that is free. By the way, a lot of this stuff is free. It's available to you now, and you can create accounts. It keeps track of everything that you ask it, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But ChatGPT is the granddaddy or the best known AI platform that's available to individuals for free. And so a lot of these other ones, I mean, radiology and all that kind of stuff is very proprietary. It's very limited as to who can actually access it. And so it affects us greatly. But there are lots of other ones that we can have access to help us. Think of it as your personal assistant. And as an educator, we know that we all need that personal assistant. There is not enough hours in the day to do the jobs that we're asked to do. And so this, I feel, when you get to know it, how to use it right, you'll find that ChatGPT and other AI tools can actually give you hours back into your week, free up hours from those sort of menial tasks that we want to do or that we need to do. So I'm going to show you how to create an account, because you will want to create an account, and so you can sort of play with this over the next week, and then next week we'll talk a little bit more in depth about it. But so ChatGPT, and so you go to chat.openai.com right up here, and that's sort of the hub or the entry into ChatGPT. You will then want to sign up because you're going to create an account if you haven't already. We're going to sign up, and you have some options. Now, my ChatGPT, I created it using my Google account, my Gmail account. You can create it using your NBEd account. You would just put in your NBEd account here. While your NBEd account is a Microsoft account, this Microsoft gateway won't recognize your NBEd account. So if you want to use your NBEd account, you would just click here and go NBEd, and then hit continue. The only limitation here is that you can have multiple ChatGPT accounts, but every ChatGPT account has to have a unique phone number attached to it for authentication purposes. So if I tried to go in here, because mine is made with Google, if I tried to go in here and create one using my NBEd account, it would then ask me for my phone number. I would put it in, and it would say there's already a ChatGPT account associated with this phone number. So you can have sort of one way or the other, as the old classic song says. So I'm going to now pull up my ChatGPT. When you sign in after you create an account, this is what you are going to see. So the nice thing about ChatGPT, and I'm just going to come back here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. The nice thing about ChatGPT, again, is that it, just give me 1 second. There we go. It is very conversational. So I'm going to just pull it up, let you have a look at it, and we'll practice, and we'll show you a couple of things. So the nice thing about ChatGPT, as I said, it's conversational. You don't need to know how to code. This is basically the new Google search. So think about when you do a search in Google, if you're looking for something in particular, you simply type in, what is the capital of Argentina? Or give me a lesson plan on, or 3 lesson ideas on stop motion for grade 2. The limitation to a Google search is that it's looking for previously constructed data. So it might go and find a bunch of pieces, a bunch of elements, a bunch of data that's sitting out there on the web, and it will bring you those exact pieces. What AI is different, and think about again how it's emulating human decision-making, human thought, the way humans interact with information, is it's out there sort of scouring the web, scraping all of that data. And it's going to bring you a unique piece of data, a unique construction that's yours. It's not finding stuff that's already pre-created. It's going to set up an individual account or an individual a unique piece. So when I do this, I am going to, and it gives you some ideas here. Make up a story about Sharky, the toothbrushing shark superhero, plan a trip to Madagascar, wildlife on a budget. But I'm going to just put in something here. Create 3 learning activities for grade 3 around multiplication. And let's put in here grade 3 hands-on learning activities. I don't know if grade 3 does multiplication. Let's see. So we're going to send that message, and it's so nice that ChatGPT is just simply conversational. Think of it as your own personal assistant. So it's going to give me all kinds of data here, and you can see it typing away. And where this is coming from, it is actually pulling it out of the web, taking a bunch of different ideas, molding them together like a human would, like an intelligent being would, and creating these new things. So now you can see here that I've got ChatGPT. My first one is a multiplication array art. The next one is multiplication bingo. And the next one is multiplication story problems with manipulatives. So I want to go back to my PowerPoint here just for a second. So I'm going to move this to the side, and let's talk about how we can actually talk to ChatGPT. As I said before, it's conversational. It's based on prompts, which are basically the questions that you're giving it to, or the requests that you're making. So these are called prompts. So no longer is the right answer the right answer. The right question is what we want. So how do we frame our prompts to get the best information back from ChatGPT? So think of it as a personal assistant. As you're creating these prompts, I'd encourage you to think of them in sort of three parts, at least your initial prompts: the context, the role, and the goal. The reason for doing that is that ChatGPT, through your account, and as you start to ask it to do different things or prompt it to do different things, it begins to understand what you are looking for, unique to you as an individual. So you can see here that context, role, and goal. So the context is, I'm teaching creative writing to grade 5. The role is act as my assistant. So you're asking ChatGPT to act as your assistant. And the goal is, help me design a rubric to provide feedback on style, voice, and techniques to student authors. Use a 4-point scale. 1 is beginning, 2 is developing, 3 is applying, and 4 is mastering. Format the rubric as a table. Now I'm just going to, didn't want to do that. I think I am going to try to do that. So let's open my ChatGPT. Oh, where are you? There we go. So I'm going to pull it over here. So every time you start a new prompt, it shows up over here on the side. You see the one that I just did, multiplication fun activities. So I'm going to start a new chat because I don't want to start down here because it's going to add to this. So you can continue to add. So I'm just going to start and say, I am a grade 4 teacher. And it's very forgiving for spelling and grammatical mistakes. Act as my assistant and provide 3 hands-on activities for my students to learn about rocks, about types of rocks. And you will learn how to do these. So there's the 3 things. The context is, I'm a grade 4 teacher. Act as my assistant is the role. And the goal is provide 3 hands-on activities for my students. And I can correct that. But it's, like I said, it's very forgiving. And then I click send message. So now it's giving me 3 different activities. So quick. So edible rock layers. That one sounds like fun. Create a lesson plan for 2 45-minute periods for edible rock layers. So what you see it's happening here is that I'm asking it to respond to I'm responding to the response it gave me and asking it for more information. So now as I come down here, there's my lesson plan. And so it's giving me everything. This is unique. It's not pulling lesson plans from somewhere on the web, like Teacher Pay Teacher or any of those other places where you'd find lesson plans. This is actually creating a unique lesson plan by taking a bunch of disparate information from all kinds of different places and bringing it together and creating a unique lesson plan and activity just for me. And if I ask it to do this again, it might give me something completely different. So it is acting as a human, doing all the rational thought about how humans work. So as you can see, this is really quick. Next week, I'm going to delve into how you can mine this resource a little more. And we're going to have a look at a couple of other very specific resources for education. As I said, this one is not, ChatGPT is not specific to education. It is sort of a general catch-all that's being used by people around the world. Next week, we'll start to look at a couple, and we'll come back to ChatGPT. But as you can see, what I'd like you to do over the next week is, if you haven't already, create yourself a ChatGPT account and go and just try some things. And we're going to talk a little more about how you can best leverage this new tool to make your life a whole lot easier. So that is Tech20 Tuesday for this week. If you are looking for some support on anything, it can be on AI, but it can also be on other things. Our ASD-W digital learning team is always ready and interested in helping out and supporting you. You can contact them, Lindsay, Joel. So Lindsay's sort of in the Fredericton area. Joel and Wayland are upriver, sort of Woodstock on up. Yvette is here in Fredericton. Wendy's down in Oromocto. Yvette's sort of in Oromocto as well. And of course, I'm here in Fredericton. But you can reach out to any of us. So if you happen to know one of us and need some help or want some help, that's great. So that is Tech20 Tuesday for this week. And next week, as I said, we're going to be back and we're going to have a look at this tool a little deeper and a few other tools as we move along. That is Tech20 Tuesday. See you next week. Oh, and if you have any questions or anything you want us to address over the next month or a few months around AI, send me an email or put it in here in the chat, and we will do the best we can. Thank you, guys.